What up, what up? This Finance, Fitness, and Folk channel. We discuss finance, a little bit of fitness, talk about some folk. So on today's episode, I'm going to discuss why having a low credit score is bondage. So admin notes, thanks again to all the subscribe to the channel. I endeavor to keep pushing the video out, give you leverage to better yourselves. So if you're new to the channel, thanks again for turning in. Thanks again for turning in if you're new, right? Thanks again for all the returning subscribers, all the returning viewers. Hope you get some out of it, because there was one of my subscribers, I believe, or may have been somebody that's been following me. I'm not exactly sure, but he went back into the archives a little bit and watched one of my videos that was pertaining to finance, and he said it was a good video, and he wanted me to put out some more financial content, right? So I'm definitely going to get back into like topics of today when it comes to relationships and other things that deals with people in general. Mostly black people, because I definitely want my people to be educated and to do better for themselves. But this particular video, I'm gonna focus in on finance portion, right? And this is one thing that I think black folks as a whole is really lacking in. Like, seriously. Like, I mean, you can get on this video and say that that you're not that person. Like, you got an 800 credit score. That's not the norm for black folks. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keep that real. I don't need statistics to know that. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see it every single day, whether it be if you're in a affluent area or you're in a impoverished area. Black folks don't care about their credit score. A lot of folks don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying everybody, but I'm just saying the majority of black folks or whatever, either they don't care or they put themselves in situations where they're destroying their credit score. They know they are, but they get into this vicious cycle of payday loans, all these other things, and it just gets really complicated, right? But I'm gonna give you a few pointers as far as the reason why having a low credit score can really put you in bondage, right? So let's get into it. So why do I say that, having a low credit score is bondage? It's a couple of reasons, right? So I'm not gonna get very statistical when I go over this, and actually saw this on a video a while back. And please don't quote me on numbers, because I don't recall the exact numbers or whatever, but I'm just going to give you this a real good example of the reason why this is so much of a bad issue when it comes to black folks, right? So let's get into owning a home, right? Man. So I know this generation here, this newer generation, this is the year 2024, right? So I know my son's generation. He's 19, my oldest son. And maybe some folks that are a little bit older than him really look at a home as being a liability. And to a certain degree, it can be, because if you don't have the funding to actually support that home, like it's not enough for you to have enough to pay the mortgage. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a lot of reserves left over. You have to have money to pay for your electricity bill, your water bill, your gas bill, if you have gas, repairs, because believe it or not, you may wind up paying almost half the price of your home over time just on repairs. Because there's certain things in your home that do not last for 20 years, do not last for even 10 years. I think a doggone dishwasher literally has a 10-year lifespan. Now think about that. You know what I'm saying? You buy a brand new home that just got built, and you have to expect within the next 10 years, you have to pay for a brand new dishwasher. Now, of course, dishwasher, for the most part, you know what I'm saying, to include installation, might run you maybe like $500-600, you know what I'm saying? But that's still an expense that you have to factor in, right? Eventually, your HVAC system is going to wind up going out eventually. That is a huge bill. That's like to replace the whole thing, because a lot of times they don't want to replace the outside unit. They want to replace the inside unit as well, because they go hand in hand, right? And a lot of times you're looking at between $5 to seven grand, right? HVAC system at the most, and don't quote me on numbers again, may last you maybe like 15 to 20 years, maybe. And that's after it's broken down a couple of times. You had it repaired. The freon might start leaking. You have to get the freon replaced, man. Just a whole bunch of things, right? But getting back into the subject, so to buy a home, for the most part, a lot of times you have to have at least I think like a 650 credit score. Once again, numbers, right? I'm not quoting that exact numbers, because sometimes banks can actually be lenient on those credit scores, and sometimes it can be very harsh. But roughly, I would say 650, you should be okay. Minus the fact that minus factoring in that you have a debt to income ratio, meaning that you can prove to the bank you can actually pay all your bills and still have money left over for a mortgage and maybe some other things, right? So 650, right, for a mortgage. How many black folks have a 650 credit score, on top of actually having sometimes 20% of a down payment on the home, right? that's a lot of money, y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of discipline for your credit, and that's a lot of money you have to put down for a mortgage. So a lot of black folks are locked out of having a home, right? And it really boils down to initially having a low credit score, right? You have a high credit score, then sometimes banks can work with you with a couple of things, but with that low credit score, you're short, right? If you want to start a business, right? Sometimes depending on what business you have, I mean, you can be kind of low when it comes to costs. You know, sometimes starting a business can run you as much as like between $100 to $200, and then you just, you put the work in and you build capital, and then you start buying things after that, right? But let's say that you're really trying to get out there and that you want to have everything in place so you can actually start the business right off the top. Maybe you want to open a restaurant, or you want to I don't know, open a lawn service business, right? At the minimum right now, I believe you have to have at least a 700 credit score to get a business loan. And even then, you have to prove that you can actually have a good debt to income ratio. How many black folks have a good credit score for 700 for you to get a business loan? A lot of folks don't, right? Sometimes even to get a car loan. A lot of times to get a decent APR, you have to have at least about a 620. We got a lot of black folks walking around here that got barely a 400 credit score. Grown folks, right? Your average, I would say, maybe like between 550 to 600. That's a really low credit score, and you're locking yourself out of so much capital. You're locking yourself out of so much opportunity when you have a low credit score. So I'm not going to get into the logistics as far as how to build your credit score back up. I'm just giving examples as to why having a low credit score can really put you in a bondage situation. You're locking yourself out of so many things you can do, right? Getting a car, getting a house, getting a business loan, just a whole bunch of other things. You have this one gentleman that I'm pretty sure a lot of folks know called Dave Ramsey, and he doesn't believe in credit. And to a certain degree, you know what I'm saying, I definitely agree with some of the things that he talks about. You know, I mean, he definitely is a person that is very successful, and the model that he created as far as getting yourself out of debt and building wealth works. You have millions of people that have used his program and got themselves out of debt and been able to actually prosper. So I'm not saying that his method is not sound. I'm pretty sure it's very good. And for the most part, I would say that for most black folks, you probably need to do Dave Ramsey and not have credit, because you don't know how to deal with credit. So if you're a person that have destroyed your credit over and over and over again, you put yourself in bankruptcy over and over and over again, then you need to just give up on credit and just go ahead and just pay everything in cash, right? But if you want to be a person that actually deals with a lot of business, and you want to actually create businesses and be able to move around in the financial space, having credit is there's no way of getting around that. You cannot move around in a financial space efficiently with ballers and high rollers without having good credit. There's no way of getting around that. For the most part, a lot of folks, not just black folks, but a lot of folks not going to have enough money in their lifetime to pay for a house in cash, especially with these market rates and these homes. As far as prices goes, I mean, inflation is over the top, and you got a lot of financial experts that are saying that these folks, these big business, as for these financiers and what do you call them? I can't forget the name of what they call them. Investors, right? And some of these other folks that are in the financial space, they're literally buying all these homes up and trying to make the whole America a renters market, right? They don't want you to have a home. They want to buy the home and have you pay rent to them to live in a single family home. That's the way things are going right now. You know what I'm saying? But that's another topic, another video I can get into. But I just want to just put this out to give folks a very good example and a very good reason why, having a low credit score can really put yourself in bondage. So let's get out of that situation and let's get good credit. And I have a couple of videos that I can make to help you do that. I think I got some videos right now that actually will help you do that as well. But have a low credit score, put you in bondage, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Let's get out of bondage. Let's go ahead and move around this financial space like most adults do. You know what I'm saying? Folks that are responsible with their money. So if you want me to go over a topic you think is beneficial to the channel, email me at findingfitnessfolk@gmail.com. My email address in the description below. Find Fitness and Folk, Triple F, I'm gone.